Let me see if
Yeah,
this
some of
is
those
working.
things, Mary, if you're listening, you will find out on Friday.
There we go.
And
YouTube should
enjoy
be
them.
back up now. A second here. Yeah,
Well, the fun part was that we had two lists. We had a must-do and a must-eat list, and I think we accomplished both of them.
Oh, she said she'll be on when she can. So I guess she's.
That's okay. Good.
Happy
Still having
belated
problems.
birthday, Mike. I'm sorry.
That you see. See, that's the best part of having a birthday in August. You can party all month long.
You have to have an excuse, a written excuse from your doctor for that too.
But yeah,
All right. Anyway, let's get back to the show now that I got things mostly working. Still not 100%. Still looking like Twitch is screwed up, maybe. I don't know what's going on. We'll just leave it as it is, and hopefully we'll make it through the rest of the show without it. Okay. All right. So Google is in trouble. They tried to do a thing where they charge an exorbitant amount to put your app in the Google Store, and so Google decided to charge a 30% fee for in-app payments because of what Apple charges, and they got sued for this. And Google has made it clear to developers that Play Store apps must use Google's billing system. The lawsuit notes that, according to Google's internal figures, break even for an in-app revenue in the Play Store is actually 6%. They're charging 30%. Anything above that figure means huge profits for Google. But the optics look even worse when Google, when the suit cited Google's internal communications as admitting that the setting in the Google's in-app review cut at 30% was an arbitrary decision. And the Alphabet subsidiary plan was to collect 30% of in-app revenue, had no rationale other than copying Apple. So they made like, let's see here. Oh, here it is. This is, so Google offered Netflix a special deal to stop them from griping about the 30% fee. So they offered them a special deal. They estimated that Samsung made $0.1 billion from the store in 2019 compared to Google's $4 billion. $4 billion off of that 30%. So they're saying they don't make any money, but in fact, $4 billion was made from that 30%, because like they said, they only need it.
If $4 billion isn't a lot, I'll take it.
It says they actually
take $1 billion.
It says here that if they charged 6% instead of 30%, they would be able to break. They would make money. Anything above that figure means profits.
Wow.
Anything above 6%, and they're charging 30%. So they were sued for that. So Google calculated it could break even with a 6% commission compared to the 30% that they're getting. So they're in trouble because people are suing them for that, for overcharging them. Because Netflix doesn't want to pay 30%, and the reason they're charging 30% is they're using Google's, like when I pay for Peacock,
right?
I'm paying Google, and Google is paying Peacock.
Okay.
So, but Google is getting 30% of that money that I'm paying to Peacock. It's going to them. So they're getting a lot of feedback about that. So anyway, I just thought it was interesting that they're screwing people and getting away with it, but maybe not for long, because people are really getting upset about the companies that they're ripping off are getting upset about that.
Cat has both 4:30 in the morning. Okay.
What?
In the chat room, Alyssa said she was up since 5 a.m. Trish said she was up since 5:30 a.m. And my sister-in-law said she was up 4:30 a.m.
I see.
So I have a question. I've got a question for you, because I keep getting messaged on this. It's sort of a what burns my trash segment.
Okay.
Okay, let's say you had some roommates. Okay.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know.
That don't go so well. I'm not good at being a roommate.
Yeah, I know. But let's say you've had some roommates. You're all living together, and your significant other has a TV and a Roku in your area.
I doubt that would happen because I've got the Roku and
I know,
TV
but just go with me here.
All right, I'm going with you.
Okay. And if your other roommates...
How many roommates do I have?
3 other ones.
Ugh. Okay.
And your other roommates, while you are out, take Roku from, that is your significant others, and go into their room and watch it because they didn't think you were going to be home.
Okay.
Do you think that's good and that's right or no?
Depends on the on what you guys have agreed on. I mean, if
they haven't.
Well, see, if someone took something, if they took my Roku out of the living room and put it in their bedroom temporarily, as long as they put it back when they were done with it, I'd be okay with it.
Even though they didn't ask?
At least they say they were going to put it back.
Well, if they put it back, then I'd be okay with it. But if they wouldn't put it back, I would warn them and say, look, if you aren't going to play by the rules, get your own. If you're going to play by the rules, okay, I'm okay with it.
My question to add this a little bit to it is that if you had your own section in this corner, okay, of the room, okay, and you're not allowed to go into somebody else's corner.
I'm saying if they took it out of the living room, I'd be okay with it. If they go in my bedroom, they're dead.
Right. Okay. So it's similar. It's similar to if you're sleeping in a corner in the living room. Isn't that the same thing? Like that is part of your room.
That's your space.
That's
your
your
space. See, the thing is, if you don't define what is good, and because I'm a giving person.
Yes.
For the most part.
Yes, you are.
As long as you don't cross the lines, I'm happy. If you want to borrow my Roku, if you ask me to borrow the Roku, that would be perfect. But if you didn't ask and you just took the Roku, I'm probably okay as long as you didn't do my bedroom and as long as you didn't mess up any of my recordings or
they didn't
like
ask, and it wasn't hers, and they didn't think she was coming home. That's why she did it. That's why they did it.
See, if you don't have any rules established, I would think that you shouldn't take somebody else's stuff.
I agree. But, the fact that she's sleeping in what I'm going to say is a little dining room.
Yeah, see, that whole thing's messed up to me.
Yeah.
As long as you're paying
rent,
you should get your own room.
I mean,
that whole thing is messed up. By the way,
I agree
Ashley,
with you there. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, she's there.
Ashley, I have some sheets for you. So if you remind me when you're here next, I will give them to you. I found them. They're brand new. They're not used. We could use them, but...
Hey!
What?
That's my daughter.
It's my assistant.
She's your babe, I know.
No, I don't want to throw them away so she can have them. Anyway, I think the problem is if you don't establish rules, if you don't establish what rules are, you can't really
But it's
complain.
kind of hard because
I understand.
She's out in the open, and it's not like she has a door that she can close.
Why didn't they just use the Roku where it was since she wasn't there?
Because that's in her space.
Okay,
I don't know what rules. See, they're established.
Yeah.
I don't know what they are doing as far as the established.
Well, I know you don't know
okay,
what her apartment
my question
looks like.
is, and this would, maybe Ashley can answer this again. My question would be, and I agree with Mike, if you did not believe she was going to be there, why did you not use it on the television that's there if it's in an open space?
That's what I'm saying.
You should not have taken it and moved it to where you needed to. If, it could have watched it there, then it's a different story. Then you become a different story.
Okay, let's back that up a little bit further. If they didn't move it and were using it, would that have been okay?
I don't know. It's
well, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
If that's okay, if that's agreed upon, then it's okay that they use her thing. But if they haven't talked about any of that stuff, you can't really make a judgment unless you know everything about what you're talking about.
She said the TV isn't hers either, and it was in her space. It was put in her space for her to watch and for the Roku for her to use. Only her.
Did they return the stuff?
They didn't move the TV.
Did they return the Roku?
After she got home, yes. Because the one roommate said, Ashley's home, and she's like, yeah, I know. You know, the one who moved it.
What's the relationship between the person that
They're
we're talking about?
Roommates.
Are they friends?
I think so.
Is it a big deal?
Well, it depends.
The thing is, you need that because you have to establish what the relationship. Are they just living together, or is there anything else?
I think.
Do they all eat the same? Like if someone makes something like a big pizza, is it their pizza or is it everybody's pizza?
Depends on who's
that's
there.
what a bit generally what I think Mike was talking about. And there's
we can't arbitrarily decide that this is.
Obviously, you share a bathroom. So are you taking your
don't
stuff?
get me started.
What about
that.
what would they? Okay, let's reverse the roles. Let's say, for instance, they had something in their room. Let's say, I don't know, a DVD player.
Okay.
And Ashley took that and used it. Would there be a problem then?
Yes.
Then I already have my answer. They shouldn't have touched her stuff.
Yep.
Because if you're talking about it going both ways, then
right.
it's okay. But if it's only one way, then I would say,
and the reason,
first off, I would say establish rules. Because if they aren't established, you can't complain too much about it.
And it doesn't matter if she's out in the open or not.
It doesn't matter. But you establish rules. If you say, you can use this when I'm not here, that's okay. You can say, I don't want you moving my stuff. Then you said what it is. As long as the rules are established, you must establish. You can't just get mad because they took your thing. You have to establish rules and protocol. If I had somebody living in my house, several people, whatever it is, I would say, look, I don't care if you use my TV. You got to use my TV in the living room. I don't care if you use my my DVR in the living room. I don't want you moving my wires around or whatever it is. But if you want to use my stuff, you got to use it under my jurisdiction. If you don't mind it moving to another room because they let you stuff or whatever reason, because you're a nice person or whatever, or if you don't want to make a big deal out of it. But if you really truly feel that they shouldn't be in your room borrowing stuff without you knowing, you should say that. Say, look, I know we're all roommates and stuff, but my stuff is my stuff. I don't want my stuff moving from my area.
Place to place.
If that's the problem, then you need to establish that. Make sure everyone knows that you do not want that happening, and because that's the only way it works. The only way to do that is a free for all. And you never know what you get with a free-for-all.
That's true. And I think it's harder for her because she is out in the open. It's not like she can close.
But I like to know where my stuff is. And if things are missing, if I can't trust my roommate to leave her hands off my stuff, that's something to think about because, you can't control other people. And if you don't, you got to establish rules. And if they break the rules, there's got to be consequences. I don't know what the consequences would be, but you got to, whatever you decide, it's got to be, you got to really think about what you're doing. Because is it really that big of a deal or not? If it is...
Well, it depends on who it is.
It depends what it is. But if it is a big deal, you got to nip it in the bud. You got to just... Not that bud. And you just got to do the right thing, and that is establish these rules.
Well, what she did, and this is what I suggested to her, was if she doesn't want them to use it, take it with her when she leaves, and that's what
You
she
shouldn't
does.
have to. You shouldn't.
I know.
That's the truth. You shouldn't have to. And my suggestion, like Mike said, I would think the same thing is maybe sign up for where there's public housing, that your supplement housing, and goes by your income. That way, I did it. I was on efficiency apartment, and my depending on how much money I made, they took I think like 20 or 30% of my income, and that's what my rent was. And then I had to pay for all the other, like the.
She was on it before, because I helped her get all the back stuff cleared up. So there's no reason why she shouldn't be able to get on it again.
Well, even if it takes years. I mean, I had to wait. They say, I think now this is in Chester County, but I think in Chester County it was at least an average of 2 to 4 years. But they say that, but then unfortunately, I hate to say this, but people die, and that's how a lot of times when COVID, someone gets on, because someone dies, they move out of the apartment, and you get their apartment, but so they can't really, think of they can't estimate of it could be a year, it could be 2 years, but they're not going to tell you that. So
the whole bottom line is, if you want to complain about it, you got to do something on your side to protect you, and the way to protect you is to let everyone know this is mine, don't touch it, or you can use it in the living room or whatever your rules are.
Right.
You can't complain about the rules if you don't have rules.
That's true.
But if you decide that you want to keep your stuff away from people, just take the remote with you. I mean, you can run Roku's off your cell phone, but that's beside the point. If they don't know that would be another thing. Or they're small, you can just take them with you.
That's what she does. She takes it with her.
You shouldn't have to do that.
I know.
And the bottom line is, if you want, you have to decide what you want out of it. And if it's not that big of a deal, I don't mind people using my stuff as long as they leave it alone, as long as they leave it where it's at. I don't want them to take them into the room, because then I have to hook it up. If they screw up my system's a little complicated compared to other people's systems. But you gotta, if indeed it does bother you, you have to make sure that they know, I don't want you taking this from the room that it was in, or I don't want you using it when I'm not here. Whatever rule it is. But if it's not that big of a deal, don't say anything. But remember, you're in a room, you're in an apartment,
an area,
that everyone's got to play by the same rules. And I know that I don't feel like they have treated her fairly in that place, and that would be my number one reason for wanting to leave if I were her.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, because it seems like there's a lot of contradictory stuff going on, and
there's a lot of people in that situation that haven't been very honest with other people. So that's my opinion. So
so that burns your trash.
And again, it can only burn your trash if the rules have been established. Mm-hmm. If you haven't established any rules, that's the problem. That's what you got to do. So anyway, all right. Next thing, do you use WhatsApp?
No.
Have you used WhatsApp?
I've used it before, but I didn't like it.
Okay, well, WhatsApp, I've never used it, ever.
I have.
I've never, ever used it. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Facebook owns it, but I'm not 100% sure of that. However, I don't know if you know that or not. Stop hackers from reading your private messages on WhatsApp. Did you know that people could read your private messages?
Yes, I knew.
Oh, you did know that?
Yes, I did.
A lot of people try to get you to go to WhatsApp because once they get banned from Facebook, they need to be able to get a hold of you, because a lot of them are scammers that do that.
Yes, absolutely.
And so, the things I know about WhatsApp are not good. Usually hackers control that because they will meet you on Facebook and say, can we go to WhatsApp?
I had one like that.
I like it. They always say things like, "My internet is not that good on WhatsApp."
Yeah.
Your internet's the same on WhatsApp as it is on Facebook. That's not something that the internet discriminates against. It doesn't discriminate against apps. So anyway, I just put an article up there on stop hackers from reading your private messages on WhatsApp using these settings. So there's some settings that you need to look at. It says here, WhatsApp, the secure messenger acquired. Oh, maybe I do use it. That's the messenger that we use back and forth?
No.
It says WhatsApp, the secure messenger acquired by Facebook in 2014, has over 2 billion active users. These users are protected by end-to-end encryption. It keeps their chats safe from prying eyes. In fact, WhatsApp is unable to see the contents of your messages. This is thanks to an encryption protocol created by the developers of Signal Messenger, which is implemented in WhatsApp. While end-to-end encryption and protect users from hackers trying to read their messages over the network, hackers still manage to get information they need from the users. They authenticate based on their phone number, sending a verification number over SMS. As part of the scheme to hack a user's account, many WhatsApp users have received scam calls and messages from malicious users who ask for help while posing as a known person. The social engineering. Oh, that's what they do on Facebook. I mean, I get constantly people sending requests. That were already my friends,
right,
that were screwed because they were asked, like the other day, I told you, I think, about this guy who wanted to have me retrieve his information so we could get back on Facebook. And it says, what he did was he looked up my email address and he sent a request saying I had a lost password, and he was posing as me. So the information came back to me. He wanted me to read him that number, posing. He didn't realize that I know something about this stuff.
Right.
And I said, "Why do you want to get into my account?" He goes, "Oh, I didn't want to get into your account." I said, "Well, it says right here for you to get into your account, meaning my account." That I have to put this number in, the number that you want me to give you, so that you can go in there and steal my account, because that's what they do. Are you following what I'm saying? You're looking at me like,
I know exactly, because
it happened to you, right?
Oh yeah, they've gotten me. Not a lot, but they
there's
they try to scam me
ways.
And say, "Oh yeah, because if you give me $50 in a Google card, we'll I can get money." And we have they're getting money from it's always their father.
Well, this is not that scam. This is a scam where they're saying they were locked out of their account.
Oh, okay.
And they can't open their account unless they get a code to open that account, like you would get. Well, they were using my email address to get the code because they wanted my account. They thought I was stupid enough to give them that number.
Yeah.
And I gave them. I said, "Here is that code that you need. Scammers should go to jail for life. 2021 is the password." And then they actually had the guts to say, "I'm not a scammer." I said, "Well, why are you trying to get into my account then?" "Oh, that's not what that does." I said, "It does. That is what it does. I've worked in technology for 30 years. I know the difference between someone that's trying to scam you and not." And I actually consider myself a scam buster, so whatever you want, you're not getting it from me.
I can see you have a superhero outfit that has SB.
That's right.
Scam buster.
That's right. This is I get so much good stuff. How late did we start?
About 10 after.
Okay, I better get moving through some of these. This is kind of cool. Custom DeLorean time machine, the original from the movie, is up for sale. Oh. You could own the original DeLorean. Is that awesome or what? If you look, it's got the doors like mine, except they're the front doors and mine are the rear doors. But that's where the inspiration for my Falcon doors came from, was from the DeLorean, because Elon Musk is a geek like me. So, but it's kind of cool. As you probably know, if you're a Back to the Future expedition host, Josh Gates and the original Christopher Lloyd have joined forces for a new special in the Discovery Plus. The goal of the series is to track down the other 5 DeLoreans that were used in the movie. So they have one, but they want all of them. So there's a new show of them trying to track down the DeLoreans that were used on that. Because you can't buy them. I mean, since DeLorean was arrested and they shut his business down, but it's based on a 1981 model and with a 3-speed transmission. 3-speed automatic transmission. And, it's kind of cool.
I don't have nothing.
The bidding on this one starts. I'm sorry. The highest estimate is $500,000 for that car.
Wow!
At the time of the press, the machine already has $125,000 in bid, and the reserve hasn't even been met. So for that kind of money, you'd be wanting to go through time, don't you?
Oh yeah, and besides, time does fly.
It does fly, but I thought that was really cool that that was what they were doing. So I'm excited about seeing that. What happened here? Damn it! All right, now let's see. Oh, that's because we had our stop. Okay, put this in here for people who want to look it up.
There's the puppy.
And so, did you give it to him?
Yeah.
Hey, pupper dog.
There's two of them. I think he just wants attention.
Yeah, he didn't. He doesn't eat too much of it. He's kind of like a snob when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I think it's kind of cool. And then, of course, the other article is that there's a docu-series, and that's what I just told you about the docu-series.
He's giving us 2 cents, Mike.
You tell him. You tell him.
What? What do you want? Do you want her other stuff? Here, give him some other stuff. Either that or he just wants to be next to me. All right, next. We're running out of time, so I want to get some of these done because I could save that for next week. Save that. This is kind of cool. If you were out camping with your kids, and a mountain lion came up and scared your kids, what would you do?
Run.
I know.
Run.
Same here. This mom repeatedly punches a lion with her bare hands, saving her 5-year-old son's life. There's a hero for you, or a crazy person, or whatever. Just crazy that they would actually take a lion on one-on-one without any weapons. But yeah, that's that's crazy.
Now, if it was a Penn State Nittany Lion football team, that'd be a little different.
Would it? It'd be probably safer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just kind of think that was wild to think about. I think my mom would say, "Have a good lunch."
Exactly. Wait, you are lunch.
I can save this. Let's see what time we got. Okay, so I can save this till next week. I won't have to do any work between now and next week. By the looks of things, I got a lot of stuff. I thought I really was going to run out of stuff.
You think that every week.
I know. It's crazy. What else did I know there were some things I had to tell you about. That's why I want to go to the... here's some stuff I let's see, here's some of them.
He didn't eat any of those.
He ate a few. This is fine. I know it was left on a Tesla Model 3. It shows just how little people know about EVs. What do you think it said?
Get away from my gas pump?
No. It shows how little people know about the gas or the electric cars, though. It's really kind of bizarre. Now, you haven't had much exposure to them, but you've had enough exposure to know whether or not this is true. And they got a note on their car, and the note said, if you leave this plugged in for too long, it's going to catch fire.
Oh, jeez.
I'm serious. That's what the note said. Here it is. Overcharging in this heat will blow up this battery, concerned resident. They didn't have the guts to even say who they were. And what's it say? Google it. Tesla battery blew up. That's what they put on their car. So what they do is they came over.
They may blow a tire.
I've had that happen twice. But anyone that knows about chargers, if you use Tesla chargers, you can't take that Tesla charger out by hand unless you have a key. On the other chargers, you can. So they got that note that said that they're overcharging and this heat will blow up this battery. Google it. That's not what those batteries blow up from. It's happened very rarely. Actually, it happens with the Chevy Bolt more than anything, because the Chevy Bolt just had to recall all their Chevy Bolts because they had to replace the batteries from blowing up. So this is also interesting to me because I'm going to get another Tesla soon. The Tesla, the list to buy a Tesla is actually, it's not as big of a list as I thought it was going to be. They've been selling like crazy. I mean, way above.
So you're going to get the new Tesla and the Aptera?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you didn't know that? I told you that.
Yeah, I just can't wait to drive it.
Which one?
Yes. Both of them.
Okay. Well, according to the let me see, where did I see that? Where did I see it? Oh wait. Shoot, I can't. There was a thing here. Okay, Tesla's currently predicting a wait of 4 to 6 weeks for the Performance Model 3 and 5 to 6 weeks for the Performance Model X, which is what I'm going to get. And for other models, that deliveries times can be out as far as April of 2022.
Ooh, that's not far.
That is far.
Not 2022.
6 months. April of 2022 to get your car if you put an order in today.
Okay. Oh, that's right. You're very impatient. I forgot.
Who wants to wait that long? Well, my lease is running out, so I need to move on it. So I don't know if I told you what I decided, but I decided to buy another X.
Yes, you did, because you liked it.
Yep, and I think I'm going to get the Performance anyway. It's a difference of 20 miles. I can do that. So
Caroline's in.
He's back there.
What's going on up there?
What?
You didn't hear that?
I've been hearing some thumping, but it could be just like against the desk or something.
You hearing that?
Yeah.
That's my feet.
Oh, stop doing that.
I'm sorry.
Jeez.
I can't help it. I'm pushing the chair in, pushing it out, and, Oh, man. Okay.
Heart
I'm sorry.
attack.
Well, I'm thinking there's something else going on.
All right.
Anyway, chances are I'm going to put in my order within next week. Where's he at?
I'm not
Well,
sure.
he didn't like any of the stuff you gave.
No.
Well, that's not. Maybe he just wanted to be next to me. I don't know. Could be.
Probably just wanted to be next to you.
Okay.
Trish always wants to be next to you, so never wants to be next to
Ashley
me.
too. Ashley wants to be next to me too.
Okay. See.
Let's see. What else do I want to say before next week? Oh, this is interesting a little bit. Electrify America is the other company that's one of the companies putting out the electric charge stations. They have want it to be a one-stop solution. So you can use Apple Pay or Android Auto to buy your electric.
Oh.
Rather than, I hope that didn't, it just did go off. Wow. That one went off and the other two went on. Okay, that's, but we're still on there. Nope, no we're not. So, okay, maybe we should just wrap up.
Yes, it's waiting for live signal.
All right.
Broadcast waiting signal. You should resume shortly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, totally, now it's on. Okay. All right, we're getting all of a sudden these problems with Comcast.
Well, it could be because of the rainstorm that's coming. If it's supposed to start tonight.
Has nothing to do with it.
You never know.
That's a power outage we're talking about here. All right.
I know nothing. I'm just an underpaid employee.
Hey, you paid well here. Here we go. Here's the Chevy recalled. It says here. It says Andrew Krupowicz was relieved last month to end his lease on his 2019 Chevy Bolt electric car, which had been recalled for the risk of the battery fire. That's what the woman was talking about, remember? He replaced it with a new, larger Bolt that wasn't subject to the safety callback. I thought, great, I'm out of the woods, he said. But 2 weeks later, General Motors expanded its recall to include every Bolt it has built, including his new one. The rechartered accountant from Toronto is keeping the car, but adding the network fire alarm in case it catches fire. GM this month expanded the Bolt safety recall for the second time, calling back roughly 142,000 models built since it went on sale 5 years ago. Now, keep in mind, it sold 142,000 Bolts in 5 years.
Wow.
Do you know how many Teslas have been sold in just a year? Just talk about a year.
About just as many?
A lot more, actually. So it talks about the safety problems underscore the traditional automakers as much as take a deep, sharp turn towards they're just talking about how they're actually what it is remember I told you the difference between Tesla and Chevy, Ford, Toyota, and all those things is that Tesla built the car from the ground up. They're trying to modify their car to be an EV. So they're trying to put batteries in place of a motor, and instead of building a car based on technology, they're trying to retrofit it so that it now will run off electricity. And that's why we're having all these fires, because they didn't take the time. You think about this. Tesla started in 2008.
Right.
That's a lot of time. That's a lot of experience over the other guys. And they went through their own trials and tribulations to get where they're at. They've only started being profitable the last couple of years. But they have run into every problem that everybody else is now running into. Why would you buy a Tesla? Because they're the only game in town that's been around. You know, this Rivian and all these other guys that are coming into the game late, they're going to have to go through the growing pains that Tesla's already been through. Now, we need the other guys to make this EV work because we need to have options. But they're still not as fast charging and all that other stuff. So this Bolt that I almost bought a couple years ago,
I remember that,
have all kinds of electrical problems that we don't have. Teslas just don't catch fire. You know, you have to do something really special to make yours catch fire, like ram it into something. And even then, it's not supposed to catch fire, but it could catch fire.
It may blow tires.
I don't think it has anything. I would rather blow a tire than... I truly would rather blow a tire than have that happen. So, do I have anything there? Nothing there. Just trying to make sure. Oh, Carolyn's in there. Okay. All right. Let me see.
Yeah, it's been a while since she popped in.
Listener.
Huh?
May have you a new listener.
Okay. All right. Well, guess we'll call it because I don't want to get involved in, because we've had these system issues lately, the past hour, and I figure rather than keep trying to let's see, I can keep this for next week. Okay.
Well, I hope you don't get flooded out with all this rain that we're supposed to get.
I'm scared we will. We will. I got to check around here and make sure I got most of the stuff up. But anything that isn't up now probably got wet already. So, all right. I guess we'll call it. I just figure that we're going nowhere fast. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody that came out, especially the people that are new and we'll be here. I don't know if we'll be here next week. We'll probably not be here next. We might not. I got to decide. If we are, we might try out that new system just to see how it works. Because then, maybe a shorter show. Maybe, I don't know. I have to figure out if I want to do a whole show or not. So, all right. I will talk to you guys later. I will talk to you, and we will all talk to you later. Thank you for showing.